Hi, Dawn Lewis here. It's day 5 of 7 ways. In 7 days, we're making a bookmark, and as usual, we're using Love You a Latte by Fawn. I am starting with a piece of white Express It blending card. It's about 4.5 by 14.5 centimeters. I've stamped the greeting at the top, and I'm going to do a little masking, and we're using blending card because we're Copic colouring today. I've stamped my first coffee cup, and I've also stamped it and fussy cut it from a post-it note with a sticky bit up the top. And I've masked off my first one because I want to create a stack of coffee cups. So by stamping the other one just so it overlaps a tiny bit, you'll see as we peel off the mask, the magic happens and it looks like that one's sitting on the top. Very cool. Using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because we're colouring with Copics. Now I'm onto the embossing ink from the Distress Ink range. I've stamped a few little mustachioed faces on a strip of white cardstock. Just any old white cardstock will do. And I just stamp a few, add some clear embossing powder, tap off the excess, and then I'll stamp some more, add some more embossing powder, tap it off. I like to do that so the ink doesn't dry. It's been a bit hot here. So I'm using tweezers so I don't burn my fingers. It's a smart thing to do, and just heat setting all that embossing powder. My distress ink here is Forest Moss, and I'm just using the foam pad on my blending tool to colour in that entire segment. So this is called Emboss Resist, where we've put a clear embossed image down and then we're going to put ink over the top. But of course, the clear embossing powder, being all shiny and wonderful, is going to resist the ink. Now, Copic colouring. I'm starting with E30, E31 and E33 for the coffee cup. Just a little bit of blending, keeping it simple. For the lids, I'm using C1 and C2. We don't want them to look grey, we just want to add a bit of shadow. For the mug wrap or the label, whatever you want to call it, around the middle, that thing that stops you burning your hands, we're using YG61, YG63 and G74. Yes, you can mix outside colour families. Now I did give it a bit fussy on this top one, but I'm going to whip through the colouring on the bottom ones, and you can of course colour more than one image at a time, especially for this project because they're all going to look the same in the end. I want an identical stack of coffee cups right there. So you can fuss a lot or you can fuss a little. You can keep it simple or you can really throw a colour in there. It's completely up to you. So the reason I've chosen green is because I had a strip of green cardstock and that's what we're going to use for our base. And it also matches the forest moss we used on this beautiful emboss resist piece. Now I've just put adhesive on, trimming off the excess. I didn't measure, I just went for it with the scrap I had because I figured it looked about big enough. But of course we need to darken up that distress ink along the edges. Look, you'll never know that I'd chop that off. Look at that. Just using the distress ink pad, try not to get it on the blending card, just get it onto the green section, and you can use a little corner for that. Okay, I had misstamped on the back, so I just flipped it over and used it. And I'm going to apply a little adhesive and throwing it onto a piece of green basil cardstock that's 5 by 15 centimeters. And look at that, absolutely perfect. Well, now it's absolutely perfect. We are going to punch a hole in this. I'm using a 1/4 inch circle punch. This one's from Stampin' Up. And to create our tassel at the top, I'm using some yarn from my stash. It's out of my green embellishments box. Oh my goodness, I have so much of this stuff. But this was just the perfect color and it's made a great tassel. Simply fold it in half, thread the loop through from back to front, find the center of it, pull those loose ends through that loop, pull it up, and look at that. Perfect tassel for your bookmark. I did want to add the little faces to the coffee cups, and I'm using archival ink. I'm stamping them after because it's not safe for Copic markers. And how cute is this bookmark for a coffee lover? Now, as promised, there is a twist, and today I am using the Into the Woods set. I'm using the fox, the clouds, and the little hello greeting. And oh my goodness, I'm in love with this. It's a great little bookmark. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. Bye for now.